Hello, we're fixing everything, and in this I'm sure it's gonna be a series of videos. We'll figure out why this engine is burning oil, how much oil is burning, and what we can do to fix it, and do we even want to fix it, or we just want to throw a new engine at it. Now let's check the oil level, because whoever is doing what, I'm checking the oil level, and we can see that is it even on? Yeah, it is on the dipstick. You can see right at the end. Okay, so let's see how much oil is gonna take to the top. I'll just give it a little wipe, and we'll see how much is going to be from the minimum to the maximum. I'll just make sure that it's on the minimum, and it is. Okay, let's take a bottle of oil. So I think we can say that's right on the top of 3 liters, so let's say 3 liters and 100 milliliters. Let's top up a liter inside, and we'll see. Excuse my aftermarket nonsense, but while I'm doing this video, I'm diagnosing some other issues as well. So this is not the specified motor oil for that vehicle. This engine needs to use 10W40 semi-synthetic oil, and this is, I think it's mineral oil, 15W40, but this is what they had in the shop the last time. It's a GM engine, that's Opel Vauxhall Zafira. A bit more it needs. One liter for the Americans is 1 quart, approximately. Difference is 50 milliliters, which is like not a lot. Yeah, I would say that's a liter. Let's wait for it for a couple of minutes to settle down. Okay, let's have a look at that oil level. Not exactly to the top, is it? So it's a bit more than a liter to the top. Yeah. If we trust the bottle, that is. So we'll see how many kilometers and miles we're gonna pass until it's to the bottom. So we can figure out how much oil is burning. And I can tell you it's burning because I can see it through the exhaust. It's not leaking. Or maybe it's leaking a little bit. Spark plugs look clean. Let's see now. What is the odometer reading? Let's have a look. 2 days later, one road trip later. How many miles we got? So this is 430 kilometers, for more like 450 kilometers. So how much is that? 300 miles? Let's have a look onto the dipstick. Half? Do you think that's half? I think that's half. So looks like a quart on 600 miles or a liter on 1000 kilometers to me. But we'll see. We'll continue driving, and we'll see when it's to the end. A few days later, unfortunately, I didn't film when I started. I just went through the footage and it completely missing. I started on 286,530. So 700 kilometers later. 700 kilometers divided by 1.61, it's around 430 miles. And I think we will have a liter missing. Let's have a look. I'm a bit confused now. Is it 700 kilometers or 800 kilometers or... I don't know. I'll show you it's exactly where we started, which is 1 liter later. And around 700, 800 kilometers. There we go, yeah. So, let's stop up again. And we'll finish the video here. I'll continue driving. And I will see you in the next one, yeah. Hello, me fixing everything. Well, because there is always something to fix. 4-minute engine flush. This one is being discontinued, but not the main point. Let's have a look how does the engine looks on the inside. It's not that bad really, but yeah. I have the engine hot, and I'll top it up now with that engine flush. And when I say hot, I mean I have the radiators running, or the fans on the radiators running. Okay, now I'll start the engine and we'll count 4 minutes. Okay, 4 minutes later, and after a slight oil leak from the plug, let's undo it and drain it. don't think it's that bad, but it's definitely very thin after the additive. Let's leave it draining, and we'll have a look inside the engine as well. Okay, that's part 2 of my oil burning saga. I pulled the spark plugs, and I'll do a little procedure. That's the spark plugs. You can see they're not in such a bad shape, and the car, as we said, is using around 1.3 liters on 1000 kilometers. Okay, that's like more than a quart on 600 miles. Yeah, more than. Now, mainly the problem would be from the oil burning off the cylinders, but also you can see here underneath the car I have an oil leak from the oil pan plug, and it's not only from the plug, but there is some coming from there and start leaking, and some from this bolt right there, and it's leaking as well. Now, most likely I have some stuck pistons, and what I'm going to use is oil for petrol burning lamps, like lighting lamps. That's, I think it's something like kerosene. I'm not going to show you the label because it's, well, I'll show you. It's in Cyrillic in my language, so you can't really get it. But yeah, it's petrol for gas burning lamps. It dissolves the carbon really well, so I'll just pour some into the pistons, and we'll let it soak for a while. I'll just top up 200 milliliters, maybe around that, in here, just like that, and in all 4 cylinders as well. And I'll leave it soaking for as long as it can until it drips around the cylinder wall through the oil pan. Then I'll drain it, I'll top it up again, and so on and so on. Okay, the next day I soaked them, I drained them, I undo the drain plug, and I did it with the funnel again. I put it again like that 3 times. We still have liquid. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see it moving right now. Now what I'm gonna do, I'll just put this on top of the engine so it doesn't spray thing everywhere. I'll get to the crankshaft, and I'll just wiggle it a little bit. And now back, and now forwards again. Sorry, but you're in the way a little bit. So what this does, it's moving the seals. Yep. Start looking from the top. This means everything now is covered in oil. If you don't put the rod on top, it will leak everywhere. Now after I'm finished with the gas, oil, petrol, whatever it's in your language, I'll top up the engine with diesel, 3 liters of diesel like that. Let's leave it now to rest a little bit. And we'll get back to it and top it up with diesel, and we'll flush everything with diesel. Okay, now almost the end of the day. I'll get that's diesel, and I'll top up the engine with diesel. There we go, full of diesel now. We'll wait for it to leak down because it made a mess a little bit. And I'll do a little bit more of turning the spanner underneath there to move the seals a little bit more. Piston rings. Okay, so remove it a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I'll jump in and I'll crank the engine. I'm not gonna stop the fuel, so it will spare a little bit of fuel inside, but it's gonna be just a little bit, so it should be fine. Just to make sure that there is nothing inside the pistons. There we go. And now the next step is I'll put the spark plugs in. I'll assemble everything and I'll run it for a minute or two with the diesel inside. Okay, have everything assembled. Now I'll start it with 3 liters of oil, of diesel, which is highly insufficient for the purpose, but it will be fine. It's not even on the dipstick. Just run it to clean it up a little bit. If there is no oil pressure, the door will stop it. I don't have a oil light, so I'll just let it run for a little bit. That's all the smoke from where the leak was coming. So now it's gonna do this. Okay, I'll let it run for a couple of minutes until all this evaporates. Okay, around 4 minutes later it's still doing, it's evaporating, but I'll stop it. I'll drain everything and I will put a fresh oil in. I don't know if my pan is gonna be 3 liters, but we'll check now. Very nice diesel. Meanwhile, I'll jump up. It smells like diesel as well. Okay, let's leave it going. And now I don't think I need to show you how I'm putting fresh oil and new filter, so we'll just leave it draining, and meanwhile we'll change the oil. Okay, so the oil is in. That's what is on the back, but that's normal because all of the diesel went to the exhaust, so it will need a little bit of time to clean up. So let it run for at least half an hour, and then we'll see what consumption it will get. I'll do a trip tomorrow around 150 miles, so set it up to the maximum because I haven't set it up the oil yet. That's the LPG conversion kicks in. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so that's around 3 weeks later, and I did around 3,000 kilometers or 1,800 miles, and I can tell you the car is still consuming oil around a liter, more or less, depending on the RPM, if I go on the motorway, if I don't go on the motorway, but it's almost the same. It doesn't have any difference. Maybe the only difference it had is that when I changed oil, I put a washer on the sun plug and it started leaking from there. But from the gas for lighting, no point. I did a little trip yesterday, and the oil was up to the second mark. So second mark, I did around 300 kilometers, 500 kilometers, 300 miles, and there is no oil in sight. So unfortunately, if it doesn't free up piston rings, either it doesn't free up the piston rings, or the engine is so worn on this side that it cannot do nothing, and just the oil is slipping through the cylinders. I can definitely see a decrease in the oil being burned when I sit on the traffic light, and when I pull on the green light, I usually was seeing blue smoke, but now I'm not seeing blue smoke. Maybe it's because of the oil change, maybe because I changed the brand of the oil. Well, that's it for that repair. It was pretty a long one and useless, I would say. So I hope the video has been helpful to you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.